You know, we spend so much of our lives trying to teach, to give advice, to pass on everything we've learned. But what if the most powerful lessons we ever give have absolutely nothing to do with what we say? Today we're diving into why your example isn't just a part of your legacy, it is your legacy.
So think about it for a second. Pick a core belief that you hold, something you know deep down is true. Where did that really come from? Was it something someone told you, or something you saw them do over and over again? This really gets to the heart of it. What does it take to turn a piece of information into a genuine, unshakable belief?
Well, for starters, it's not the big, inspiring speeches. Yeah, they can get you fired up for a moment, but that emotional high, it fades. The research is pretty clear on this. Words alone rarely, if ever, change our fundamental programming.
And it's not the detailed rule books we write for our companies or even for our kids. Look, people are geniuses at finding loopholes, right? They'll follow the letter of the law while completely missing the point. Rules might control behavior for a little while, but they don't build character.
And it's not even our most heartfelt advice. I mean, how many times have you heard a great piece of wisdom, nodded along, and maybe even repeated it to someone else? But then, when the pressure's on, that advice just, poof, it's gone. So if speeches, rules, and advice all fall short, what's actually left? The answer is both simple and, honestly, a little intimidating. We believe what we see. Real, lasting belief is forged by watching what people do. The lived example is the ultimate teacher because you can't argue with it. It's real.
Okay, so this brings us to the science behind why example is just so powerful. It's not magic. It's actually baked into how we're wired to learn from the world and the people around us.
Psychologists have a term for this: observational learning. It's this core idea that we are constantly, often without even realizing it, soaking up information from the actions of our role models, our parents, our bosses, our leaders. It's the primary way culture and values actually get passed down through generations.
And this process is incredibly smart. Our brains aren't just passively recording what's happening. No, we're actively scanning for patterns. We're looking for what actions get rewarded, what kind of bad behavior is tolerated, and, this is the big one, what gets repeated day in and day out. This is how we figure out the unwritten rules of any family, team, or community. And all of this leads to an unavoidable, non-negotiable truth. If you say one thing but you do another, people will always believe your actions. That conflict doesn't just make your words meaningless. It actually teaches a whole new lesson, that the values you talk about aren't the ones that really matter.
You can see this principle play out so clearly in the world of leadership. Researcher Liz Wiseman's work on this gives us a fantastic way to see it in action. She basically identifies two types of leaders, and their impact is defined entirely by what they do, not what they say.
So on one side, you have the diminisher, the tyrant. Their actions create tension and fear. They're quick to judge, they dominate every conversation, and they shut down ideas. But on the other side, you have the multiplier, the liberator. Their actions create an environment that's intense, yeah, but it's also safe. They challenge people to bring their absolute best thinking because everyone knows it's okay to take a bold risk and maybe even fail.
And this quote from Wiseman just nails it. An unsafe environment will only ever give you the safest ideas. Fear just breeds caution. You can't demand innovation. You have to create the conditions for it through your own behavior. That feeling of psychological safety is a direct result of a leader's lived moment-to-moment example.
Okay, so if our actions are the main way we teach, does that mean we have to be perfect? Absolutely not. In fact, trying to be perfect is one of the worst things you can do. Real influence, real integrity, is built on authenticity, not some impossible standard of flawlessness.
So let's be super clear about what living the lesson is not. It's not about never failing. It's not about always having the right answer. And it's definitely not about appearing flawless. That whole approach isn't just unrealistic, it makes you unrelatable. And it teaches everyone around you to hide their own struggles too.
Instead, a truly powerful example is built on accountability. It means owning your mistakes out loud. It's about showing people what it looks like to learn from failure and try again. It's about choosing responsibility over protecting your image. People rarely remember the initial mistake. What they remember is how you responded to it.
When it all comes down to it, integrity isn't about being right all the time. It's about being aligned. It's that consistency between your stated values and your actual behavior, especially when things get tough. That alignment is what builds real, lasting trust.
And that word alignment brings us to the quiet engine behind all of this: consistency.
A big, inspiring gesture might impress people for a day, but it's the small, everyday actions repeated over and over and over again that actually change things.
I mean, it's easy to live by your values when everything's going great, right? The real test is on the bad days, when you're stressed, when you're tired, when you're frustrated. And the ultimate proof? How you act when you think nobody is watching. Consistency across all three of those conditions is what makes a value real.
And that's what sticks with people. A grand speech is forgotten by next week, but the quiet, daily example of your character, that creates a predictable pattern. And that predictability is the bedrock of trust.
So now, let's bring this home. It's easy to think of this stuff as being for CEOs or world leaders, but the truth is, every single one of us is teaching all the time. Whether we mean to or not, our example is constantly on display.
Even our silence teaches a lesson. When we choose not to act, when we don't speak up, when we don't step in, what exactly are we communicating? That inaction sends a massive signal about what we really value and what we're willing to let slide.
Our legacy isn't just built on our actions, it's also built on what we allow. The standards we're willing to accept, the behaviors we tolerate, the norms we let go, all of it shapes the world around us. Because what you permit, you promote.
So, this is the question to sit with. Right now in your daily life, with all your small, consistent choices, what is the lesson that you are teaching? Someone is learning how to handle stress by watching you. Someone is learning how to treat other people by watching you. So, what are they learning?
In the end, you don't have to convince people with your words. You just have to be consistent. When your actions line up with your values, when they reflect your beliefs, and when they stay steady under pressure, the lesson lives on all by itself. Because the strongest legacy, the one that truly endures, is not the one you explain, it's the one you embody.